I heard it rumoured round the castle bogs. The master carpenter's been clocked out dancing at the Five Logs, the tavern down on Gallows Lane, arm in arm with the Lady Mary. Witnesses say he put his hand on her wrist and twisted it gently. Incidentally, and as you might expect, our Lord is vexed and sent the order out this morning that this man is now an outlaw, and his head is worth £1,000 or more, depending on the source. A scaffold's been erected in the square where, if they catch him, they will have a man with axe dispatch him, as a warning to the hordes of paupers, some of whom have glanced from time to time at this high-born wench or that and said, "I fancy a plunge." This will expunge any ideas that those of lowly status could conceivably be favoured by the daughters of the wealthy. When your role is cleaning out the castle bogs, you get all sorts of gossip flying around amidst the shit and piss, and the occasional unlucky fuckwit who falls 50 feet to his death through the hole of a tree and has to be fished out with a hook for burial, except no one attends to send him off since the stench is so offensive. Spending 15 minutes with the corpse is like entering the back end of a horse that's got amoebic dysentery and fleas. One bloke sneezed while crapping, flew back, and was last seen flapping for grip as he slipped down a chute into a day's worth of processed food. In my brief tenure, there have been 172 such deaths. The castle safety certificate is at an all-time low, a blow which is hardly softened by his lordship's staunch commitment to decapitating any fit young male hung bigger than himself who sticks his tongue in the vicinity of his daughter's virginity. No, it's a bit shit, this feudal system, I'll give you that. That's my 2 cents. Nothing seems to make any sense at all, and power is concentrated in the hands of those who don't behave particularly well with it. To hell with it. At least I've got employment, even if my job is shoveling the offal of those considered better than me on account of their parents. I can't complain though. Quite a high percentage of people die before they reach 30. I'm 29 and I'm only extremely hungry, so I'm winning really. And I managed to avoid the plague or any vague accusations of petty treason or horse theft or larceny or even arson. I never married, which I think might be the stench, but when I retire and get my pension and finally have some time to wash off all this grime, I think I'll marry a pretty girl, or at the very least talk to one, which I've never done. I'll tell you what, if I see the master carpenter sneaking around after dark, I won't be handing him over to the clerk, and yes, I am fully aware he's an outlaw, but I'll tell you why, because he's not actually a bad guy. Sure, he touched the wrist of that posh bitch and now my father's up in arms. Well, you know, so what? We're little ants. We march across this patch of turf for what, 40 odd years? Remember, this is 1209, this poem's set in. Such a brief window. If the bloke wants to poke above his class, let him have his fill. Pigs in the swill get just as dirty as we do, have just as perverted libidos, but live without morals and moralisers, leaders and extorters who put chastity belts on their daughters. Am I saying pigs have it better than us? Until someone kills them and eats them, yes.
Woo!
Okay, this is Effigy, this poem. Why don't I burn your clothes? I cannot bear them, and I cannot wear them. They sit where they were supposed when they had a use. Why ought to move them to the shed, or cast them from a window ledge, or find a new excuse to leave them where they are. This way, pretending to ignore their presence in the drawer, whites my hair. But could I throw them in a pit and light them with matches until the fabric catches and they disappear? I doubt it. If they were burnt to black and floating in the air as dust caught in the slow breeze, just what would you wear when you come back?
Woo!
Thank you very much.